Today we will be talking about Magisitis and the ego, and a lot of egoisms in the occult. I am Dave, the Amateur Magus. On this channel I talk all about the mechanics behind ceremonial magic, occultism, esotericism, and the mechanics behind everything you can find within a dusty old grimoire. If you enjoy what I do here and you want to support the channel, link in the description of the Patreon where you can get exclusive access to videos early, Patreon exclusive content, and the Occultic Manual series, which is a monthly write-up I aim at being more instructional than what I have here on the channel, less unapproachable than some of the old grimoires I like to talk about on the channel. If that sounds of interest to you, link in the description to the Patreon. Hope to see you all there. Magisitis is the old term for overinflated magical egos. This is magic-induced ego inflation, and ego inflation is as follows. It is when your ego starts to become so big that you develop signs of a narcissist. Oh, everyone who isn't me, I know the real truth. I know the real truth. God has revealed the real truth to me, and to no one else. The person with Magisitis thinks I have the divine revelations, and everyone who is not me does not have the divine revelations, and one of two things occurs. I must ignore the people who don't know, or I must share like a religious zealot the actual truth of things, regardless of actually if that truth is correct, because it was revealed to you. And if something is revealed to you, it is going to be true, right? This is where we get a lot of issues with the occult. This particularly happens in solar-oriented traditions, such as Thelema and the Golden Dawn, and I'm going to explain why. The sun is the planet whose vice is ego. The negative of the sun is going to be pride. The virtue of the sun is going to be dedication to the great work. Now, the great work, depending on who you are, is going to be radically different. My great work is going to be different from other people's great work, etc., and so on. That's just how it is. We are not all the same person. Now, when you get through, and when you start committing yourself to the great work, you're eventually going to have pitfalls and hiccups and all of this, but you are supposed to continue on the path. Even if you get even if you fall off the straight and narrow road, you're supposed to climb up the hill and get back on that road. That is just how it's supposed to be. What Magisitis is akin to, in this analogy of being on a straight and narrow road, is seeing a second road that is a fork in the road, and rather than take one, you are skateboarding down the half pipe that the two roads meet, until you come into a brick wall. Now, I recommend a lot of ceremonial magic on this channel, and one of those things is the Kabbalah Magic and the Great Work of Self-Transformation by Liam Thomas Christopher. And I get a lot of people saying the great work is excessive. There is a lot of great work in there, but he outright says that the reason why you are doing this is to keep yourself humble. It is to overload yourself with work so you can't just be like, I have all this magical knowledge, I am suddenly the best. No magical ritual is going to make you better than other people. Even if you suddenly manifest winning the lottery 6 times over, you're still going to have people who are better than you in some aspects or another. And this is just how the world works. There is always someone who is better than someone else in something. Now, there are a lot of egoic traps that people get into when they fall into Magisitis. One of the most common ones is I completed big name ritual, and so therefore I am the best, and I suddenly have a bunch of secret knowledge that may or may not even make sense if you look at it from a historical perspective, but it's my UPG, therefore it's correct, because it's my UPG. Magisitis is when your ego gets too strong. One of the egoic traps, and this is actually something I don't think I've talked about, one of the traps of the ego, in my opinion, is fully subscribing to the psychological paradigm. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this. The psychological paradigm makes you think that all magic is in your head, and all divine entities are actually aspects of you. And this is true. However, and this is so true that it actually has a bearing in the Hermetic metaphysics, right? as above, so below is a very important Hermetic axiom, despite the fact that it actually comes from the Kabbalion. The microcosm and the macrocosm are actually incredibly important to Hermetic thought. Now, if you only believe in the microcosm, though, if you only believe that the outer world is reflected of your inner world, right, that's a bit of a problem. Because now, the only thing that really matters is that inner world. This is, with very, very much simplification, how the psychological paradigm functions. You believe that your head is the only thing that matters. Everything is all in your head, and there can't be anything outside of your head, therefore, you are the only thing that matters, right? I have seen it explained that if you believe everything is in your head, then, oh, you don't want to hurt other people because, not because they're, you just shouldn't do it and it's wrong, but because that's effectively hurting different parts of yourself that you just don't like. Which, dear God, that is so narcissistic. I absolutely hate this paradigm. It has some truth to it, but the world is more than just what's in your internal world. Not everything in your internal world is going to completely be reflected of your outer world, and vice versa. And 9 times out of 10, when I see people saying, oh no, that's wrong, or, oh, it just works like this, and heavy metaphysical concepts, they're using incredibly dense language in order to explain something. It is usually in a video where I bring up something that is related to the psychological paradigm. That is my own cognitive bias coming in, but that is what I have noticed. Ego inflation and the Magisitis is part of the reason why this channel is named Amateur Magus. So, I want to take a little bit of a history lesson, kind of finish up this video with why my name on here is the way it is. So, what ended up happening was, after the Abramelin, I got pushed by my holy guardian angel to make a YouTube channel. Now, I did not start broadcasting that I had completed the Abramelin at this point. I didn't want to at that time, and I still kind of feel like I made a mistake doing it. Due to a miscommunication error of a podcast I was on, that ended up being spread out, and that gave me a massive influx of new subscribers. A lot of people who watch my channel came to me from that video. That is admittedly not on my channel. I originally was not going to reveal that I had actually finished the Abramelin and all in my content until basically everyone started asking me about the Holy Guardian Angel because of that video. I was just going to talk about the Holy Guardian Angel, and I don't believe I claim in that video that I actually finished it, but that was the title of that video, and, you know, that's what kind of happened. That was entirely on accident. That is a cat's out of the bag moment. What do you do from there? The other thing about this is, when I made my channel, I wanted to make sure that people knew that I was not the be-all, end-all authority on things, but I was an authority on things. In Thelema, the grade of Magus is the penultimate grade. It is the grade correspondent to the sphere of Chokmah. It is effectively the grade of the Master. The word amateur means somebody who is still developing the skills. Effectively, the name of the channel means that I am a beginning master. That has been the entire purpose of this channel's title, and it actually comes from a part of my own experience. For a long period of time, after I got my initiation done, I would start to outstrip my teachers rapidly. When I tried to apply myself in the various neo-hermetic, admittedly, fields, I started to outpace a lot of people, to the point where the people that I was thinking were teachers ended up being not only on par with me, but in some cases revealed to be outright frauds. So as time went on, I started having less and less teachers. And this was before I got my Holy Guardian Angel. This is before I got the last teacher I would ever need. I ended up in a space where I didn't have any more resources to learn from. And when this happened, I was absolutely devastated when I kind of realized this, because not having anywhere to go in your magical path, in your magical journey that you want to go, is a really, really sad experience. And I took that experience and realized, well, I guess I'm the teacher now because I ran out of my own. You know, all of the teachers that I used to have are basically gone or in let's just make money mode, which sucks. I hope I never get to that point in my practice and in this channel's lifespan, but I really, really hope I don't get to the sellout phase. The sellout completely phase. But yeah, all of this has been a method of trying to make it so that I humble myself. I didn't want to talk about the Abramelin that I completed. I didn't want to talk about a lot of stuff. I didn't even want to become a teacher. My HGA forced me to after completing the Abramelin, because I had ran out of teachers at the time. And so I needed to, in order to push me to learn more, I needed to start teaching, because I don't know who knows this. Psychologically, you are more likely to retain information if you know you're going to have to teach it later. It causes your brain to activate more, because if it's just learning for you, you are actually using less of your ability to remember it. This has all been stuff that I've been trying to do in order to humble myself. So, when I say that Magisitis is a problem, I've had Magisitis a little bit. Everyone is a bit of a snob sometimes, but when it's constant and you start preaching to people, that is when Magisitis becomes a problem. And so that is why I wanted to kind of talk about that today, because it's been on my mind quite a bit. I have been Dave the Amateur Magus. Now you know what the meaning of the name is. If you want to support the channel, again, link in the description on Patreon. I also got services. Reach out if you want those. Hope everyone is having a good day. And if you're not having a good day, I hope your day gets better. Take it easy, take care, and I will hopefully see you next time.